Alright, hush. So it says I'm live. Of course the cats are going to start fighting now. It says I'm live, but I haven't seen it yet. But, let me know if you can hear me okay. We are having some technical difficulties where my second camera, where you can usually see what I'm sewing and what I'm working on, it's not connecting for some reason. So I'm not sure why. But I see Linda already, and Linda, I will answer your question, but I'm going to wait a couple seconds just to make sure that I am on and everybody can hear me and see me okay. And it's saying cannot. Alright, let's see. I hope that's not a... Let's see. Can hear me but can't see me. Okay, I just pressed another button. Let's see. There we go. Alright, so at least one camera is working. Sweet. Excellent. And so Linda was saying, I'm going to answer your question. I do have them hanging up behind me, and I'll show you the hook that I have, and I'll have to look up on my Amazon purchases what that hook is. Hey, Tammy. Can you hear me from the dark side? I like it. Hi, Irish Sail Lady One. Excellent. Yay! Hi, Sally. Good morning. Happy Sunday. So happy you guys are here. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. It's been a very full and fun weekend for me, so I'm excited to chit-chat and share what I've been up to. I'm excited. At least one camera is now working. The other camera is spinning, so if it shows up at some time, I will share the down view of, I'm working on, of course, legit kits again, and those that were here last week. Hi, Kelly. Good to see you again. I was actually on Melissa, Practically Creative, a live sew yesterday morning, and got to meet Kelly and be on that live sew, so I'm excited to see you here. But yeah, last week I was sewing the Mini Rose 2, and while I was chitty-chatting, I actually made a mistake, and I'm not going to call it a rookie mistake, because it's a mistake anybody can make, because I was chatting with everybody, and so this is the piece that I was putting together, and I like the braid that it creates in this piece. When I cut my legit kit pieces, I layer them, so I always cut one through whatever the highest number is, and I lay them out with one on the bottom, because then when I put it together, I flip that stack. Well, in chitty-chatting with everybody, I double flipped it somehow. So I have sewn it 5 to 1. So the colors are backwards. Still very pretty, it's just not going to match up. Hey Patrice, good morning. So I wanted to show this morning how you fix a boo-boo like this. And I want to show a couple of different ways on how to fix a boo-boo like this. So if if the technical difficulties won't let me show it in the down view, because that camera is still spinning. It's just not connecting. And I've disconnected it and reconnected it, I think 5 times now. So it's just may not be meant to be this morning. I will show it here, like face to face with you. I'll show as much as I can. They are tiny pieces. It's such a pretty piece. What I can show you guys is I'm almost done with this panel, which is the block A2. I don't know why I called it a panel, but in my head I think of it as the second panel of the Mini Rose. I'll show you the pieces all coming together. So this is pieces F through P. And these are all of those pieces. If you remember, and what I'll pull up is the picture of it. This is the shadowed side of the rose. So where the light source is coming from, it's much pinker on that side from the light source, and then this is the side that's in shadows. So these are all of the pieces, let me move it, coming together, and I'm pretty happy with my seams going where they're supposed to go. So that's one piece. That's again F through P. Yeah, technology is great. Kelly, this is the mini rose. I got all three of the mini flowers, and the goal for the mini flower set is to frame them in a three, three frame piece, and give that to my mom. So that's the goal for all of the flowers once they're all together. This one's a little bit of a easy. This is C through E. These are just three little pieces together. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. Q through T. So again, we're on the shadow side of the rose. Just a hint of pink up there, where the light source is kind of like right and down. So a hint of pink there. And then this is the top of the block. So this is just A and B. That once all of those little pieces are together with what I hope to finish today, then this will all come together. But I'm having a really good time sewing all the little pieces together because of the way Legit Kits does their backs with these white lines here. It helps you make sure your corners, or in the cases where, so like sewing this piece straight along here, where it's coming in at an angle, those white lines help you make sure the edges of all your pieces that you're putting together meet up and are really happy. So you can, it's going to show better on this bigger piece, you can pin in these, stick the pin in here and match that pin to the, the right sides you're putting together. So your pin will come through again on the other side in that corner, but then you can also use, to help you with that, the white lines, the white magic lines, to make sure that you are straight all the way across. Often for the little ones, I will use the pins in the corner, and then I'll use the binder clips, these guys, for the insides, just to make sure everything lines up, because I'm notorious with stabbing myself with pins. So I'm not a huge pin user if I don't have to be, if I can get away with it. Let's see. Hey, Pat, nice to see you. Good morning. And Shelly, I'm so excited you're here. Oh, is that what it's called? I actually don't know. So you have taught me what like the tri-frame thing is called. That's cool. Now I'll know what to look up. Appreciate that. Hey, Stephanie. Good morning. Hi, Christine. Sally, I think I said good morning to you, but I can't remember, so I want to make sure that I do. So good morning, Sally. Awesome. Okay, so we've got some more folks on, so I'm going to go ahead and talk to you a little bit about the mistake I made last week, and how I'm going to fix that. So I showed off some of the pieces of the rose coming together. I am easily bored, I guess. So if I've been sewing too many pieces together, then I like to start, if I've been sewing too many of the, just the fabric to the paper, fabric to the paper, fabric to the paper, I get bored. So then I'll start putting the individual pieces together to start making the actual image, which kind of like fuels the sojo to keep going and getting the rest of the fabric onto the paper so I can build the whole image. So that's why I have them together. Now, I talked about when I first started, Hi, MJ. Good morning. I talked about how last week, as I was sewing, I was talking and did not triple check because I knew I was distracted by talking to everybody. Not that that's a bad thing. I love that I get to talk to everybody, but I knew that I was, distracted by it and needed to pay a little bit more attention, and I didn't. And so when I was laying out my pieces for A2, I double flipped. So I double reversed how I have my fabric. So I ended up sewing, instead of piece 1 through 5, I ended up sewing piece 5 through 1 into space 1 through 5, so backwards. So this piece, while beautiful, and I love the braiding, it looks so pretty, is actually backwards. So there are a couple of ways that you can fix this if you've made the same boo-boo I made. Good morning, Ron. Oh, you're going to start piecing the crow. So, here's the thing. Figure out what works best for you. I had originally started sewing with what I always sew with is the Aurifil 2600, which is Dove. And I sew with a really, really small stitch length at 1.2. And I still felt, because I am an aggressive ironer, and I really like things to be really flat and like really, I don't know, I'm aggressive. I'm aggressive. So I felt like I could still see that thread even when the thread matched. So I stopped using that. You could, if you wanted to, if you're an aggressive ironer like I am, match it a little bit more. So like the dove wouldn't show so much in the lighter colors, like those blues and stuff, but it would really show in these darker colors, and I just really didn't like that. So what I've started doing, I had taken a class with a woman who does this. I wish I could remember her name. I'll look it up because I'm talking about her. I'll put it in the description below. She does this applique piecing class where you're doing some applique, but you're also piecing the appliques together. It was fascinating. It broke my brain, but it was fascinating. And she always uses monopoly, specifically superior monopoly threads, because they are resistant. They don't melt. It says medium heat. I'm never on medium heat, and I have not had a problem with these. And so I piece everything now, paper piecing wise, with this clear monopoly. They last. So these are the bobbins, and then like I have a cone sitting right here, but I haven't put the large cone holder thing on my Juki yet, so I need to do that next. They come in big old cones like this, or regular, the standard thread size thing. Hi. Oh, Tamala's here. Good morning. So just through my trial and error, and because of the way I iron, I'm now using this monopoly, or monopoly, if you forget that there's a period there, and then you make it look like it's monopoly. Always from Superior, through my own trial and error. Other folks have no problem because they don't iron the way I iron. They have no problem using another thread. But I would, for the finished look for me, if I wasn't using the clear, I would try to thread match as much as possible, even though that would add time to putting the piecing together. So, Ron, no real simple answer to that. I'm just now, just through everything I've done, sticking with the clear, sticking with the Superior because it holds up to the excuse me, to the ironing. And I'm working on a lot of pieces that aren't going to be like used for beds or throws. These are all wall pieces, and like the mini rose is going in a frame, so it's not going to go through a lot of rigor, I guess. I'm not washing it, all the time. It's not getting thrown on the ground for like a picnic or anything like that. I would go back to using Aurifil, and then maybe change it because I was using the 50 weight. I would maybe go down or use Wonderfil, like the 80 weight for the really small, skinny thread. If I was using it for like a bed throw or a picnic quilt or something like that, I would then change it back. Hey, Darlene, not late. Hi, Marjorie. Marjorie, I responded to your email last night, so I hope you saw that. You are good to go and on our list. The Deco Bob. Yes, I use Deco Bob there was a project I was working. Oh, it was Juicy Juice, because he recommended Deco Bob. So I am continuing, because I had started his with the Deco Bob. I'm continuing his with the Deco Bob. And that's my whenever I'm at Ingrid's house project that I work on, is we have juicy so days. It sounds worse than it is. So we do the Juicy Juice and Allison Glass, that set that they did in the Christmas time last year, Christmas of 2022. So that's kind of like an ongoing project that I've got going, and I won't change threads mid project. So I'm going to keep the Deco Bob going for that one, and I do like that one. I've not had any problem, even with my crazy aggressive ironing, had any problems with the Deco Bob. Oh, awesome. Okay, Marjorie. Yay! Oh, is it pretty? It's pretty here today, too, in Frederick. It's muggy and gross, but it's really pretty from inside the air conditioning. Ugh. Yesterday, there was a little bit of rain, and then it cleared out. So it was muggy before the rain, rained a bit, cleared out, was really beautiful, white fluffy clouds. I was in, because there was a pop-up sew day with Steven of Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter. A couple of us that are in here were also on that, which was a lot of fun. But I got to stay inside in the air conditioning. My oldest and some friends were down. It was Frederick Pride yesterday, and they got baked in the sun, for sure. Oh, Pat, I can't not press. And finger pressing and no iron, not flat enough for me. Can't do it. I have to have it where it is like a pancake. So I press, though. I'm really good at, so I do say iron, but I'm really good at like heating it. So I'll set the seam like you're supposed to do, and then I'll fold it over, finger press it so that it is pretty close to where as flat as I want it to be. Then I'll put the Acorn Easy Press Magic Juice. Is this right side up? I think so. Magic Juice on it. Once I've finger pressed it over so it doesn't seep through to the paper, and then I press it so that it is uber flat, because finger pressing that's not going to work in my world. I'm a cuckoo like that. Everybody's gonna find their way, but that way it just doesn't. I am very particular about my seams when the pieces are coming together. So that's why I do it that way. Deco Bob is a Wonderfil 80 weight, I believe. Thread. I am not. When it comes to, I went to culinary school, and I still can't tell you what the scoop sizes mean in different, like, ice cream scoops, and they come in sizes. I just never took the time to memorize all that stuff. I was like, I'll figure, like when the chef tells me to grab the number of scoop, I'll look at the back of it and grab the right number. So I have not memorized, even though I watched Stephanie Stitch's very informative and wonderful different thread weights things. I still can't remember what the different thread weights are, but I think 80 is super skinny, and that's what Deco Bob is. Either that or it's like 12 is a super skinny, and that's what Deco Bob is. Whatever the super skinny thread is what Deco Bob is, and it's by Wonderful. Magic juice for the win. Oh yeah, Pat, totally. Like if it's just through like I get, I don't know, I have found like my happy spot, like the sweet spot for me in doing paper piecing. So I until I say I found the sweet spot, I will try everybody's new thing that I see though, because I am not opposed to switching what my favorite thing is. If I find something that works even better, works faster, works cleaner, works up better the way my head works, I will try everybody's new thing, and if it works, I will incorporate it into my jam. If not, I will say, well, I tried it, because I want to be able to let everybody else know other ways. So when you're sharing the way you do it, that's excellent, because other people are reading that, and they're learning from you too. So I love that very much. I always want you to keep sharing the way you do stuff. So I apologize if I sounded like I was at all like defensive or anything. Not the case at all. I want you to share that kind of information. And then I'm going to, like when you share how you're doing it, I'm going to share if I've tried it before. I'm going to share I tried it and why it didn't work for me. Or if I haven't done it before, I'm going to say, oh, I'm trying that next. I'm going to figure that out. Kelly's Cruises. Ooh, just ordered an acorn pen. It is a Canadian product. It is a Canadian product. It is quite possibly one of the finest products Canada has ever produced, aside from Ryan Reynolds. Oh, it's Stephen. Stephen and Walter. Higher the number, the thinner the thread. Okay, and that's opposite for needles? Does it switch for needles? I feel like that's a thing too. Deco Bob is challenging. Oh, Christine, I think I got pre-wound bobbins of the Deco Bob too, because it's so thin. I was scared it was gonna pop, so I got pre-wound bobbins. But that's good to know, to do it slow with the net on, and that helps. Julie, yeah, Aurifil is definitely less linty, but I don't think, unless you're using a non uh, natural fiber, I don't think there's any way to get rid of all the lint. I think that's just kind of, you know, one of the things. So I do have to clean out even with Aurifil, but like you said, not as often, not as crazy. Good morning, Melissa. Hi, Practically Creative. All right. So, okay. I think we're at a good spot. I feel like everybody's saying hi. Okay, cool. So again, this is the piece I goofed on last week. I sewed the pieces. So this really pretty like lavender should be up here, and so switch the pieces, flop it. So I goofed last week. My bad. That was my fault. So there are a couple of ways that I can fix this. I'm sorry that my overhead camera, it's still spinning. It's still not connected. I'm not sure why. It worked so beautifully last week. I was so very happy. But it's just not connecting. So I will show this front facing as best I can. There's a couple of ways that you can fix this. I'm going to show a couple of them. Well, I guess there are a few ways. I'm going to show a couple of the ways that I know. I'll show off. One of them is to, and I would recommend this for the other way I'm going to do too, so you have a backup before you do anything. I just laid the piece down and made a copy. So now if this goes to hell in a handbasket with the way I'm going to try to do it, I have a backup and I can just start over. This I actually copied on like the newsprint paper because I bought a ream or two of newsprint to have on hand because I do a lot of FPP. If you don't have newsprint, a plain piece of paper, especially with I sew at 1.2 with that tiny little stitch length, plain white paper that you have in your printer just normally will work just fine. Don't go out and get newsprint just because I happen to print it out on newsprint. Not at all needed. I just do a lot of FPP and I get a lot of PDF patterns for FPP. So it was cost effective because newsprint isn't really that expensive. But I'm going to go through it. I'll use it. I wouldn't get an entire ream just for like the one project you're working on in case you mess up. I wouldn't recommend doing that. But I've got it printed in case everything goes wrong with the other way I'm going to try to do this. So that is a recommendation no matter what you do. Just go ahead and throw it on your copier and get yourself another one ready to go. And that is super easy because I hadn't tried sewing this little piece. I recognized that I'd done it wrong when it was still in this state. I hadn't sewn it together or anything like that. Knock on wood, I have not had that happen before. And this is the first time that I've done this too, where I sewed it all. It's not the first time I've started to sew it wrong. I've just caught myself earlier. I hadn't finished an entire piece before. So there's, trust me, I have made my share of mistakes even now, 2 years into doing this. But I haven't had to take an entire like pieced section, like where this might have been in the middle of a bunch of stuff. I haven't had to do that yet. Heaven help us. I really hope I don't have to. So this is going to be a little bit easier because this is still a really solid piece. It copied really easy. It was easy peasy. No worries there. You have Bernina with the... Oh, no, I haven't seen big bobbins pre-wound. Yeah, that makes a difference for sure. Yeah, the copier definitely comes in handy. And you can get from like, I don't know, Amazon or Walmart. And I got the newsprint from Amazon. But you can get just a basic, and it just needs to be like, plain black and white print, like no colors or anything like that. $40, I think, for just a copier. Like that's all it does, not all the fax and scan and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, or Bluetooth, any of that. And yeah, so I got the newsprint from Amazon. I'll bet that I got just my copy paper from Amazon too. And yeah, so there you go. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Just regular, like just the regular copy paper I got was just regular, not like, not like resume, like thickness where you want it all like, bougie and stuff. Just a regular copy paper. And then the newsprint, I just got whatever I could get in an 8.5 by 11 sheet for going in the copy machine. So like when I searched it, I put newsprint, copier, and then the type of like laser print or something like that. Whatever my HP is what I put in so that it narrowed it down as much as possible in the search for Amazon. Oh yeah, so if it was 5 years ago, you could definitely find yourself a printer, like good enough quality, because again, this doesn't have to, and I think I even forgot to hit just, just draft. I think this is darker than, so it's like a higher quality print than I normally would have. I just wanted to make sure I had it done, and so didn't mess with the settings. But uh, just an easy peasy printer, all you need, or copier. Good morning, Dawn. Welcome. Oh, it's so exciting to have some folks from the International Sewing Bee on this morning. I appreciate you guys coming over. Okay, so I have this back up to be ready. What I'm going to try next, again, so this is the first time I've done this, so I'm trying out a couple of things that I've been noodling about for the past week of how I might fix this. The first thing I'm going to try to do before I start trying to unpick the piecing, like pull it back and all that kind of stuff, is I'm gonna put some washi tape. And if you don't have washi tape for this little bit, if you just use Scotch tape, I might end up having to use Scotch tape because washi tape isn't like the strongest hold. So I have Scotch tape at the ready. I thought I had Scotch tape at the ready. Oh, I do. Okay. Sometimes the cats like to play with things on the desk up here. So I have Scotch tape at the ready. I'm going to use washi tape to start, though, and I'm going to put the washi tape to begin with on all the sew lines to start on this side. And this is just to hold it together. I'm not going to keep the washi tape on these sides in order to put this all back together again, because I wouldn't be able to see like really clearly through the washi tape to sew it back. But I'm putting the washi tape on this side to hold the pieces of paper together while I begin the process of unpicking. So we'll see how this goes. Let me grab the washi tape first. Let's see what color washi tape I'm going to grab today. Well, I'm going to pull out a skinnier one, and I'm going to pull out a thicker one too, just to see. Oh, see you, Kelly. Thank you so much for coming by. Hi, Priscilla. I like that. Pay the rent. Thank you. So the skinnier kind, and I'm going to pull out a thicker kind too, just to see what might hold this together better. There we go. And I'm going to take a drink because my throat. Yep. Yeah, it's not extremely sticky, but the reason why I want to start with hopefully it'll work is because I don't want it to be really sticky, because I want to be able to remove it once I am able to get all the fabric off and flip it back over. This operation on the front side, or like the sew side, is to hold it together while I pull it apart. That seems weird, but hold the paper together while I pull the fabric apart. And we'll see if that works. I'm going to start with a skinny, just to see if it'll work at all. And again, I apologize for not having an overhead camera, because I would love to be showing how I'm doing that, but I'm just putting it across the sew lines and trimming it. What's everybody else working on today? I saw Priscilla is hanging out, not really working on anything in particular. Has anybody else got a specific project that they're hanging out with us and doing? Later today, I am going to get to do a virtual Zoom retreat with T Quilts. If you guys haven't checked out T Quilts, you should do that. She's a riot and a really good time. An incredible teacher, so I'm excited to do the project today with her. And then this evening is our virtual guild, which is with Sean, with the guy who sews. Also somebody who you should totally check out if you haven't seen his Instagram. If you haven't seen his YouTube, should check him out. Ooh, Tammy's working on her vortex. Darlene's working on the 2-color quilt blocks. Exciting. Stephanie cutting fabric. Melissa's finishing that baby quilt. Yay! Oh, I can't wait to see everybody's 2-color quilts. We'll get to show them off the 4th of July. Will be our quick pick the next blocks to vote on, and the parade of pretties. Oh, your grandbaby's quilt and floor quilt. Oh, Tula Neon. Very cool, Pat. If you guys have the opportunity to go to a retreat with Stephanie Stitches and meet Priscilla Lancaster, you all are in for a fine time. A fine time. Oh, the Holland pouch. Cool, Christine. Is your sewing room a vortex? Sometimes I feel mine is. Alright, one more line to cover here. I feel like that's probably long enough. Alright. So I've got all the sew lines covered up with that washi tape. And now comes the not so fun part. This is the time where I think, oh, why do I sew with a 1.2? When it comes together right, I love that I sew with a 1.2. When I have to do things like this, I question my sanity. Oh, good question, quilting with Stephanie Stitches. So, the guild with Sean is through his Discord, which is, oh buggers, my phone is currently the other camera that's trying to connect, which is the Quilters Co-op on Discord. And you can join through that Discord. He also, this morning in his podcast, mentions it, and it's in his description of his podcast. So if you go to the guy who sews, in his description, he'll give you some details on his guild. And it's once a month, so it's not like this huge commitment. We decided last month, which was the first month I joined, which I only think is like the second month that they had met, we are doing a block of the month together, which is super exciting. Last month was the anvil block, which was a lot of fun. You have to claim a tornado went through. Linda, I do have the copy, just in case. But I wanted to see if I would, because some people might not have access to the copy machine. So my hope is if I try this and it works out, it'll give folks an option on how to fix their boo-boo if they don't have a copier. You were 1,000% correct though. Having that copier is going to be a life save. But we're gonna try it out, because if you don't have access to it, it might not work well. And you may see me show my age here when I have to throw my glasses on the top of my head so I can see what I'm doing. I'm an old lady. So again, this is where 1.2 bites me in the tush, and it's a pain in the tush to get started. I think I got the first one done, so it might be easier from here on out. Yeah, there we go. All right. So yeah, so now I'm just working my way down. Like normally when I seam rip, I'm like I steam through. With this, I don't want to ruin, like I don't want to accidentally catch the fabric itself. So I'm doing it nice and slowly because of how small these pieces are, I could potentially use this fabric possibly again in this very piece, but also potentially in another piece of this rose. So these are solid pieces that I don't want to just give up on. So that's why I'm doing it this slow. But let me give a check to see what everybody's talking about. Oh man, librarians are like, they are in the know about what's happening in your town. For sure. Alright, so I'm gonna say, so far, I'm halfway through this one piece, and the wasabi, people, wasabi? The washi tape has held up very well. So I'm excited about that. It's tedious. You know, not a ton of fun, but it's also a good teaching experience. The consequences of not triple checking your work to make sure you're sewing the right stuff. I will surely be less likely to make the same mistake again while chatting. But there's that piece pulled off. This piece is not going to fit where it was supposed to go. It's just not big enough. So I'm going to keep on to this piece because somewhere within this top, I'm gonna, because of how tiny these pieces are, I bet you I'll be able to use this somewhere again. Stephanie, I did not get I got the digital download. Oh, okay, so thank you for bringing that up, actually, because that is a good thing to say. I got the digital download, so I have the digital download in my possession. I have not gotten my shipping notification for the legit bomb month 3. Haven't gotten the shipping notification yet. So, and I actually asked Ingrid last night, and she got the payment notification, and I got that too. Haven't gotten the shipping notification. So, if I don't get month 3, the shipping notification in time, or if I don't get the block in time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and print out the digital piece, and then use some scraps to show how it goes together. It's not going to be exact, and it's not going to be what I end up, using for the quilt top itself. In the end, I'll put together month 3 with what comes to me. But I want to make sure that that next Sunday, I'm able to show everybody, walk everybody through how month 3 goes together. So that's the plan. To just put some scraps together. I'll try to find scraps that somewhat match the colors. Ooh, because month 3 we're moving into yellows and oranges. So we have a little bit of green, but we're moving into like the yellow and orange area of the vortex, which is exciting. So I will try to, if my stash allows, but I'm not going to stress myself out too much on what will eventually become just kind of a, you know, toss away because it's not going to go into a quilt top. I do want to make the vortex again in a like a ombre green, just all greens into the center. But I don't have the mental capacity to figure that out. And then figure out where month 3 would land in that on top of trying to sew it together. So I'm not even going to pretend to promise that. Hi, Mary. Welcome. Good morning, Rita. Thank you so much for coming, both of ya. They are in the know. My stepmom was a school. I think they call them resource something. I just love librarian, so I feel like librarian is a great title to have. Um, but she was a elementary school librarian. Um, we utilized when we moved up here to Frederick, the kids and I, we utilized the library a lot. I love a library. I just love the whole vibe. I love all the classes and the activities they have for kids. I love all the activities they have for adults. I love that you can go in and do a bunch of stuff. Like there were classes that the library taught on like resume writing, and so this, for older kids and for adults too, to get yourself, ooh, there's piece 2. So the library is just a really good resource that I don't think people really remember or think about. Plus they have like quiet rooms that you can go and study in or run away from your kids in. Alright, that was piece 2. That came out pretty easy as well. So we're doing pretty good. And it's the washi tape is holding up pretty well back there. Again, if you don't have the washi tape, so if you don't have like specific pretty washi tape, I think I've kind of started an obsession with washi tape, so I kind of grab it everywhere I can. If you have just Scotch tape, that's okay too. I wouldn't recommend putting a ton of Scotch tape through your sewing machine, but for like little pieces like this, I think you'll be okay. And then, maybe just wipe it down with like a little like Clorox wipe thing to get any of the sticky off that might have come. But you'll be okay with just a little bit of Scotch tape to get you through fixing your boo-boo, for sure. No, that's all right, Rita. I appreciate you being here for a bit. Happy to see ya. Yeah. Oh, Pat, I think you were talking about that before. Yeah, the quiet hours of the morning is a nice time to do piecing before everybody's up and about. Mary's working on her Stephanie's project box. I'm behind on that too. It's in its own nice project little holder though, so it's all together, ready for me when I'm ready to get back to it. If anybody's just joining, I'm working on fixing my boo-boo from last week where I sewed the wrong pieces. Well, I sewed the right pieces in the wrong order. So that's why I'm kind of nose down a little bit. My apologies for that. But I wanted to show a couple different ways to fix it. This is, if you don't have a copier, and I'm trying to save the pieces because I haven't cut all of the fabrics yet. So there's potential that I could reuse these pieces in another place within the mini rose top. But I've also, in the real, what I would probably do, because I have access to the copier and newsprint, I would probably just restart and then pull these pieces together, or pull these pieces apart without worrying about whether the paper was going to stay together. But not everybody has access to a copier, right? Right at their house, or access to the thinner newsprint, and um, might not sew at as such a small sewing a stitch length as I do, and the paper might be a little bit harder. So preserving this still very nicely put together piece might be the only option. And so I'm hoping to show that it is possible to do if you just have a little bit of patience and you just work your way through it. And to me, I think it's working out really well. So I'm excited about that. We'll be able to reuse this piece and sew it back up correctly. And then when I redo this, and I think I'm 3 other pieces, this will be the 3rd piece, away from being able to put the whole second block together for, our neighborhood squirrel is back, and he is lounging on our pergola. Oh, nope, now he just jumped over. He's looking for peanuts. So I will be 3 pieces away from being able to complete the second portion of the mini rose. So, means there are only 2. The mini rose is a 2x2 grid, so basically just a big old 4-patch. So I am 2 full blocks where I haven't cut any fabric or I haven't sewn any of the pieces together, and then these 3 pieces and completing it away from having the mini rose done. I have the ship of Sail Away. Oops, almost dropped that piece. So that's another good piece that I'll hold on to. The ship away, and finishing one of the rows, just putting all of the pieces together. Like for the Sail Away is an 8x8 quilt top. So 8 rows across, 8 rows down. And so I'm almost complete there. But with the mini rows, when I say almost complete, there are a lot of these really tiny pieces. So the sewing is slow going, but I can see the finish line, which I'm excited about. So I think that's okay. Ooh, I've missed some stuff. Yeah. Our old librarian would not allow public restrooms, could only have a DVD overnight, and you're not drop the movie in the drop box. Ooh, canning potatoes. I haven't seen that. I don't think my mom canned potatoes. I'm excited to see that, Rita. Darlene, that's the coolest thing. Cake pans to check out at the library. See, I'm telling you, libraries are insanely awesome resources. Oh, Mary, very cool. Yeah, I think they're, yeah, right here. I love those deck box. I'm excited that you've picked them up. They have so many incredible traditional blocks, and it's work to figure out how to put them together because they don't really give you the details. So the fact that Stephanie really writes up the patterns for us in a modern way is such a godsend, because I don't know that I'd be able to figure it out. If not, your live site is Kennedy in my area. Oh no, really bad weather. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh wow. Yeah, man, the weather's just scary. Okay, I'm down to the final 2 pieces to pull apart. And I say, I'm calling it, we salvaged this really good. So, really good, really well. And glasses back on the top of my head so I can see what I'm doing. Now, this last piece is the one I'm most nervous about because there's not the rest of, like, there's only these two pieces of fabric holding it stable. So I am worried about tearing the paper here down at the end. So I'm going to work even slower if that is possible. There we go. Just real nice and slow, just one strand at a time. But once I poke this one and pull it, pull it apart, I can pull just a bit, not too much to like stretch out the fabric, but I can pull it just a bit to pop maybe like two more through, and then I gotta do it again. So I think we're doing okay on the end here too, to hold the paper together. I really do apologize for the technology wonkiness of camera 2 not connecting for some reason. Had technical funny business happening. We had to restart the internet and everything. So I was concerned I wasn't going to get any camera, so I'm happy to have the one at least, so I can hang out with you guys. There we go. Alright. One last stitch, I believe. Yep, there we go. There's that piece. And the last piece, which now that I've done what I've done, I don't think I'll be able to reuse. I think it's just a smidge too short. Yeah. I wonder if the centerpieces I'd be able to use. We'll see. But now that I've done that and I've gotten all those out, I want to put the washi tape on this side now, across those sew lines, and remove the washi tape on this side so I can see the lines where I need to sew. With the washi tape covering it up, I can't be sure that I'm precise. And you do want to be really close to spot on with those lines as you're sewing them so that the pieces will match up where they're supposed to in the next piece you're putting it together on. So that's what my next piece is. Yeah, the directions totally leave. Let's see. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome. Glad you're here. Oh, a family reunion. Oh, so fun. I miss, we used to have family reunions all the time. We don't do that so much. Well, I haven't been to one in years. Camera 2 is on strike. You are absolutely right. It is still just a spinning in the little, broadcast program that I have. It's spinning, just not connecting. Ooh, Cheryl, which quilt were you working on? And if you told me this last week and I'd forgotten, I apologize. There's a whole week's worth of new stuff in my head now. So I'm going to work on putting washi tape on this side and removing the washi tape on the sew line side. And then I can get to cutting. So again, those pieces that I did rescue are The middle ones I might be able to reuse depending on where they landed, and how they the size is supposed to be. Might be able to reuse them in the middle of this, but the end two pieces are definitely too short. Can't use them in this one, but should be able to use them somewhere else because of the small pieces. Let's cut that tape off there. And there. Oh, Cheryl, that gets me every time. I forget that Together We Sew is public, and so like my aunt and my neighbor, and a couple of other like random people in my life have liked things that I've posted in Together We Sew, and I'm like, what is happening? My worlds are merging. I'm not okay with this. Right, Charlotte? Oh my gosh. Those instructions from the box are as clear as mud. It's a good like starting place. I'm guessing for Stephanie in that we know what the piece. Well, I don't even know. I mean, we know we're ending up with a 12.5 inch block. I'm maybe those sizes don't really help at all when you're trying to do it modern. All right. So when I get this done, when this last piece of tape and I remove the other pieces of tape, does this mean I've gotten my doctorate in fixing FPP flubs? Am I a doctor now? A successful surgeon of FPP. All right. So now I've got the pretty side with the washi tape. And now I'm going to remove the sew side's washi tape so I can put it back together again. Oh, they can't comment until they join. That's smart. I like that because you could get creepy creeps. Yeah, you know what the block is supposed to. Yeah, you're smart. Oh, sorry, kitty. Kitty underfoot. All right. So what's the top piece? Here we go. Just go slow when removing the washi tape from the sew side so that you don't, um, you don't want to lift any of the instructions or like piece title, like how you have the LU in that one or the one. You don't want to remove that when you're removing the washi tape too. So just again, it's all a lesson in patience. But fixing it is possible without having to maybe, email them and ask them, can you send me that one little block? Can you email me that part of it? So it's good to know that it is done. If you don't have a copier and you need to rescue the actual piece of paper, some good washi tape or scotch tape, if that's what you have, will work just fine. and we are good to go. Oh, Stephanie, that would be pretty cool, but Lordy Dordy, you have so much on your plate. I still need to get together with you, Stephanie, on the 6-inch strip potential. Alright. I went too fast on this one, and I am definitely starting to take away some of the instructions. So, again, what I say, not what I do. But the washi tape on the other side is holding it together, so we're good to go. A successful save, and I will be able to use this again and cut my fabric and sew it back up. And again, that'll be 3 pieces left to put fabric to. And then it'll just be finishing up the sew instructions. Let me show you these. We're talking lots of tiny pieces. So block 2 starts here, A2, this way, A2, and I've done the little pink checks is what I've done, and fixing that block, that little piece A22, is why I've stopped where I stopped. But this is how I keep myself on track. I check everything off as I sew the pieces to each other to build a larger block, especially in the ones like the mini rows where there are a lot of little pieces within that one 8.5 by 11 unfinished sheet of paper. This is what it's gonna look like. Assembly guide. So this is the back look of it. So all of those pieces, all of those pieces are going together to build this A2 quadrant of the 4 patch that's going together. Pretty cool. Oh, stars. Yay. Awesome. Okay. Yay. I'm excited to have successfully fixed that and shown a couple of different ways that you can, fix them too. Now I've got these to put together. Oh, no, these are already together. These are just the next ones I have to piece together. So it's this one is one left, and then just putting this one together. So I actually only have 2 left to sew fabric to. 2 left to trim so that they're pretty. And then I'll be able to finish up the rest of A2's pieces to check off. All right, we are cooking with gas now, y'all. Look at that. So I think what I'm going to do first before I start cutting anything for the one we just fixed up is see if the interior pieces will work. I know that LU and AA I'm definitely going to cut to fit. But let's see if SI, BT, and FF will be okay. BT will not. BT is too tiny. Alright, SI is Spice. Sorry, I do talk to myself, but today I'm talking to you guys as I'm figuring it out. Okay, that's cool. So Spice, the SI piece, will fit and does cover enough to give me seam allowance on either side, because that was the middle one. It's the exact size, so I'm going to have to be very sure I'm sewing right on where I have it sewn, like where the sew lines are. But that was the middle piece, so that one's okay. Then let's see. So this and this aren't going to work, so I'm going to put those aside. Let's see if FF, this fun red piece, and the FF will fit because I had FF, wait, I don't know if you can see this, I had this FF, which is this actually smaller piece, I had it up here, and the BT, which is bigger than it, so I know this will fit there too. So there we go. I saved 2 pieces of fabric, so I only have to cut piece 1 and piece 1, piece 2, and piece 5, and the middle 2 pieces are good to go. Excellent. Very excited. All right. So that's 3 and that's 2. And I have to make sure that I don't make the same mistake again and sew them the wrong direction. Wouldn't that be sad? Good grief. I just went through all of that and then I do it wrong again. Those that are working on projects as we talk, how are your projects going? Oh, Cheryl's saying she left Wednesday for Georgia having fabric withdrawal. Oh, yeah. Cheryl, do you do any like hand stitching or EPP or anything like that? I went and visited my dad in North Carolina and was having serious separation anxiety from my machine, and went to a local, hi, So Terry, local quilt shop and got some EPP stuff. And I'd never done EPP before, but I was like, I need to be doing something with my hands. Something has to be happening. So picked up picked up a little bit of stuff, whew, so that I could stay sane. All right. Well, I don't have the overhead camera, but I am going to start cutting the replacement pieces. How are you doing this morning, Terry? Oh, you do crochet. That's cool. It's not the same. I used to be an avid knitter. I used to knit all the time. But it's not the same. I don't have the same, quite the same need. I didn't feel the same need to be doing it like I do with quilting, where I really have withdrawal from my machine if I haven't done something in a long time. Oh, the other thing I did with this is I made sure in the cut instructions, all the other thing that Legit Kits does is send you all of the like cutting instructions. I checked those to make sure I wasn't going to, I hadn't shot myself in the foot, that I was going to be okay with the fabrics I had left. The amount of fabric I had left after goofing up, but I will have a good amount. I'm okay with needing to recut these 3 pieces. I haven't hurt myself tremendously which is nice because that's not always the case. All right. So, hopefully I'll be able to remember that the purple, the lavender, it's lupine, or this was cool. I call it lupine. And then when Stephen and Walter were on their way home, they were passing what I call lupines, and they were calling them lupins. So I wonder if I've been mispronouncing them, or if it's just a difference of, where you are. One of those kinds of things. Like, I don't say oregano. I say oregano. But, so the purple is piece 1. I need to remember when I'm looking at this stack. 1 is purple. And do it right. Don't have the same mistake twice. Oh, good. Got a good morning so far. I'm doing peachy. I successfully got all of my mistake on this piece from last week. I got it corrected and I'm ready to sew it up. So I'm going to start sewing here in just a second. Oh, I love a lake house. It's so pretty. In my dreams, that's a retirement place. A nice little lake house. But it will have to have a sewing machine. You're right. You call it lupine too. Okay, yeah. A lupin is... Yeah. You're right, Stephanie. I love that actor. The actor that was Professor Lupin. I love that actor. He's been in several things. He was in Lord of the Rings. Yes? Yeah? Yes, he was the Lord of the Rings guy. I also confuse him with another actor. But I'm pretty sure he was the Lord of the Rings guy and the dude that was in Van Helsing. The little monk guy. Van Helsing is not a good movie. If you have not seen Van Helsing, I'm not saying you should go watch Van Helsing. But Van Helsing is one of those, my top 10 guilty pleasure. I will watch it at all time. If it's on, I'm watching it. If it's not on and I just happen to think about it, I will torture my children and put it on and watch it. Van Helsing has the very yummy, what's his name? Oh my lord, what is his name? Lauren. Who is it?
Who?
The Van Helsing. The hottie Lumbalati guy from Australia.
Hugh Jackman?
Hugh Jackman, there we go. I couldn't think of his last name. Hugh Jackman. It has, that really pretty girl, brown hair. She's in a bunch of stuff too. See, I'm really good at remembering the movie. Not so good at remembering the people in it. But she's really pretty. She's been in a lot of stuff. And then the dude from Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. Yeah, he is quietly in a bunch of things. He's such a good character actor. I love a good character actor. The leading men are always cool. That whatever, great. Good character actors, they carry a movie. They are amazing. They do the work. Christine coming in with the Kate Beckinsale for the win. Yes, she is gorgeous. She is gorgeous. And this was made like a long time. So they're like all young and hot and all that sort of stuff. It's the dumbest movie in the entire world. Well, I also love League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which is also a really dumb movie. So they might be tied. Listen, and I do not put Fifth Element in the dumb movie realm. That is a good movie. I don't care what anybody says. It's a good movie. All right, Cheryl, thanks for stopping by. Linda, yes. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for bringing that back up again. So, Linda was asking earlier, and thank you again for the reminder. I do hang up my quilter's slide locks. They're hanging here behind me. This is the 24-inch big sister and the 14-inch little sister, and I have them hanging behind me, and I got the hooks that I have them hanging on. Oh, almost burned myself with my iron, from Amazon, and they look like this. They stick, this whole backing comes off, and it sticks on to the sides. This is how I have all my stuff hanging up, well, except for my whiteboard, but all my rulers, everything that's hanging behind me is hanging up with these little hooks. So I'm going to take one down, and I'll show you if I can do it at this angle. Woohoo, look at me go. So here is the 14-inch, just because it's a little bit easier to show in the camera. And then the hook just goes, oh wait, let me do this again. Turn it this way. The hook just goes right in, and then it just hangs right on the side of my shelf, my bookshelf. It's perfect. And then these hooks are no joke. I think because of how wide they are compared to the hook itself, there's like some science going on there, like tension and the spread of the weight or whatever. But I haven't had these fall off the wall. I'm holding anything. Holding these, which these are not like super heavy, but they're not light. But I have all of my rulers hanging up here. These are great. I will link these in my description box too. So thank you, Linda, for reminding me. How did I search for the hooks? You know what? Hold on just a sec, because my phone, the camera's not working, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove it from the possibilities. And then I'll just pull up Amazon, and I'll be able to tell you exactly what I did. So I ordered them in May, and I ordered them May 3rd, and they are, I guess, apparently I searched for adhesive hooks, heavy duty. That was my search criteria. And they came up. And they are very generic. And they are $1 a piece. 12 hooks for $10.79, so 90 cents a piece. Oh, Linda, not a problem. Kristen, hi Kristen. First of all, hi. Let's see. The guy from the company said not to hang it that way. I saw it yesterday. Oh, good, so Terry. He said not to hang them that way? Okay, I'll have to watch and find out why, because it's been beautiful to be able to have them hanging that way. So I'll have to see if it's a suggestion not to hang them that way. It's going to take a lot to convince me not to, because it gets them out of the way and keeps them at hand. It gets them out of the way closely at hand where I can get to them. So I'll have to rewatch to see. Oh, well, good. I'm glad they came up. Yeah, I think there are a couple of different companies, so you might be able to find them less expensive, which would be very cool. Yeah, there's one that I see for $10.99, but I'm not sure how many hooks. Oh, $10.99 for just six hooks. I don't know that I would do that. But for just hanging the regular, like the rest of my rulers, it works out so well to just have them right here behind me on my bookshelves. Oh yeah, I'm not putting any additional holes in them. It's just that the hook itself is so skinny that it just fits into what's already pre-drilled. I don't have to. I'm not adding anything to it, and it's such a thick acrylic. I would think that it wouldn't be impacting it. But again, I will watch the video. I was on there live yesterday morning for a little bit in between the pop-up sew day with Stephen and Walter. Well, with Stephen, because Walter was at his own sew day. And oh, and Stephanie's live. So I got to be on it for just a bit. Oh, and dropping everybody off at Pride. Yesterday was a busy day. But I didn't watch the entirety, so I didn't see him talking about hanging it up. But these hooks are definitely not adding any additional holes. I don't even know how I would drill into that. That's some thick acrylic. So if that was the case of he thought maybe like people were putting new stuff in, for sure not doing that. Oh no, no, not. It doesn't even. When I put it in, I go to the side of the. I'm trying to show it to the side of the of the little bumper, so it's not touching the bumper either. And when it's hanging, it's not touching the bumper. Woohoo! And the quilter's slide lock is not a ruler, so there's no markings to use as a ruler. However, if you are accustomed to doing the two ruler method, where you measure with one and then you bump up the one that you're going to cut with, that this works just as effectively. I use my mat. I have the Martelli mat, and I've measured it with my like, I don't know, Quilter Select, I think, ruler, and it measures at an inch. It is very precise, the Martelli mat. So I measure with my mat, and then I just line this up to measure with the mat, and it's been great. I've loved it. It's been so nice to use. I put a short up of me using it. I have the longer video that I'm going to be editing tonight. I have to do like I have to learn how to do a voiceover, which is exciting. Woohoo! So I'll have the longer one where I use the 24-inch and the 14-inch to show like how I do that and how I measure it on the mat. I should have done a two ruler piece to it, but I did not do that. But I will have that up hopefully tomorrow morning. But yeah, the wooden part that's what you, oh, let me grab it again and I can actually show ya. So there are, you can see the drilled holes, and then these holes are where the screws go to hold the acrylic to the wooden handle and pusher, for lack of a better word. They might have a technical word for it, I'm not sure. But when I'm going to try to keep my fingers out of it. You actually can press down and literally, like just with your thumb, on your cutting surface, and it pushes these, can you see in there? There are these clear little bumpers, and you push the bumpers down, and then, here, let me show it this way. They come through just enough to hold your fabric. There are these springs in here. This is really horrible. I don't know if you can see it. Sorry, my camera angle on my little iPad mini, not the best. But there are springs that allow you to push this down with really just a little bit of pressure. I'm trying it out a couple of different ways. Like I tried it with 2 fingers, just my thumb, but it allows you to keep your hand out of the way. And on the 14-inch, they actually moved the wooden part a little bit off center so that you could keep your hand even further out of the way, which I totally forgot when I was cutting it. I'm a goof. But yeah, so all those bumpers hold your fabric down, and the fabric does not move. So you don't have to, like with a 24-inch, you don't have to put a weight at the end of your ruler. The fabric does not move. It is good stuff. And you don't have to put a ton of pressure. You will find that when you first do it, you're like pushing down for your life. But as you get used to using it, you end up putting less and less pressure on it. Now I just place my thumb on it enough that it holds the fabric, and I go, and I can cut ambidextrously, so I'm able to flip on both sides, which is really nice. Thank you, Dad, for having me bat ambidextrously in softball. But those plastic bumpers is what holds your fabric down across the length, and the weight is evenly distributed across the length of that acrylic piece. It's really super nice. Oh, thanks, darling. So deciding on the size that you would use the most. Here's the question: Do you cut a lot from yardage, or do you cut a lot of pre-cuts? So like fat quarters down. So like the very original pre-cut down. If you do a lot from fat quarters to layer cakes to charm packs, I would say go with the 14-inch. Absolutely. And that'll be great up to 12.5-inch blocks that you can be cutting. If you cut a lot from like yardage, like I have here, then I would say the 24-inch is the way to go. If you can swing it, they have a great bundled deal for both of them together. But it's an investment. I mean, they're not, it's money to buy them. But that's my thought process in how I would go about figuring out which one to get, which would work best for me. The 14-inch is fabulous for fat quarters and below, where I would use it the most for those, and the 24 inches for cutting down yardage into smaller bits. And then I would use the 24-inch to cut down the yardage, and then use the 14 to subcut from there, if that makes sense. Yeah, the bundle pack is pretty cool. It's so US. So I do want to make sure I'm saying that US is $110 for the bundle. I don't know what the shipping is, outside of all of that, but super amazing family. It's a family thing. The Matthew, so Fallon of So Be It Quilts is where you purchase these from on their Shopify. Fallon is a fellow quilter. She has her own channel, which is linked in the description. Her husband Matthew does the acrylic and puts the pieces together. They actually bought the patent for this. So if you see them elsewhere and you don't see that it's from So Be It Quilts, that's a problem. And this is patented this specific way. So everybody kind of does a riff on there are rulers from everybody, but this specific way that they're doing it is patented. So just be aware of that. You might not get as good a product. There could be things, whatever. Just be aware. But Matthew puts it together, but then they have their two kiddos help package it all. So it's like a family. It's really adorable. It's a family deal. They put it all together. Oh, so Marjorie, you had the original folks that so Fallon and Matthew bought the patent from who was originally doing them, and yeah, so they had stopped producing them, and they bought the patent, which is exciting. Yeah, yeah, they are definitely having a problem with imitators out there, which I think the original patent holders did too. It's a problem when they are, you know, directly using, like, replicating exactly what they're doing. Um, and Matthew is really clear about that. Matthew's a lawyer, so he for sure knows the details about all of that stuff. You're welcome, Melissa. I'm glad um, that you enjoyed the explanation. They are pretty cool and neat. Sanitary. I mostly make bags, so it is a true combination for what I do. Yeah, it is a decision to be made. The combo is awesome, but again, you know, if you ended up getting the combo and one sits there never used, what was the point? If you're not doing that, a year ago I would have only bought the 14 because I was only doing things in pre-cuts. So the 14-inch would have been the one that I would have gotten, and I would have used the bejeebies out of it. But now, because of, just as I've progressed, now I'll be getting really good use out of both of them, for sure. And yeah, if you see them somewhere, let them know. He was so nice about it too. He's like, if they're doing something and they're doing it a little differently and a little better, like he wants to know about that. Like that's good stuff. All right, I am going to, in our last couple of minutes, I am going to sew together this piece that I rescued because I want to show it off done correctly. I said in my podcast this week that I was sad that I didn't catch it on the live, so I could show how to fix it. But I think having the week to really think about the different ways you could fix it, I think that actually worked out pretty well. So, um, I am not mad that I didn't figure it out. This gave me time to map out what I was going to say to you guys. So I use my doors here to the backyard are right here. So I'm using the natural light to line up the fabrics I'm about to put together. And then I do this piece where I roll my feed dogs down, manually spin the needle towards me, roll the feed dogs down just so that they're level so they don't crinkle up any of the fabric, and then I slide the paper and fabric underneath, and then there we go. Should be good to go. Absolutely, Linda. Thank you for asking. That was a great question, and I'm really happy to have been able to show it and then talk through, what some of the concerns might have been about hanging them up. I'm going to go back and watch too, just to make sure. But I think the way that these hooks are shaped and that they're not putting any pressure on anything on the ruler, I think it's going to be okay. Ooh, Pat saved her backing. We do. We want all the things. Even if I'm never going to use it, I want all the things. I do. But I'm really excited because I want to know the next. I want to jump into the next project where I have to cut a lot of yardage, because I want to use my quilter slide lock. I want to use I got a electric rotary cutter because I love all the things. I love all the tools. I love all the gadgets. I think Ingrid last week called me Inspector Gadget. Seriously, if I love all the kitchen gadgets, I love all of the sewing gadgets, I love all the things. I love all of the electronic gadgets. I just love all the things. Pat, I'm glad you saved your bagging. Oh, so this is a good thing. I switched machines. So I brought my Juki down and brought my brother upstairs. Nope, my singer upstairs. I don't actually have a brother. I don't have a real brother, and I don't have a brother showing machines, so I'm not sure why I said brother. But brought my singer upstairs. So am interested to know, as it was sewing, was it loud? The singer I felt was kind of loud. So I'm wondering if the Juki is a little quieter. Oh, sure, I will show you the electric cutter. Also an Amazon purchase, and I am such a mark. It is... I think they have one that they, like, you know, have lots of commercials or suggestions for. That is different from this one. Named something different than this one. This is, Works. Let me pull it out. Works Zip Snip. WRX. WORX. Works. Zip Snip. So look at this guy. Do I need an electric rotary cutter? No. Of course I don't. I have my ultimate favorite Creative Grids one. I have my Martelli one, which is also a favorite. I have rotary cutters that have come in, like, you know, monthly subscription boxes. I have rotary cutters out the wazooby. Did I have to have it because I saw somebody using it and it looked fun as heck? You're darn tootin'. So, I have not used it yet. Well, that's not true. I did use it, but it wasn't on, like, a bunch of fabric. It was just, like, folded over scraps, and I, like, went through it to see. But I haven't used it officially, like, to cut pre-measured stuff. But yeah, there we go. And it's got this little guide. I will be honest and say I'm not thrilled with the fact that you can, you know, see the blade on that side. But how you hold this, your fingers are never going to go there anyway. So, I don't know. Pretty cool, though. Oh, Melissa, you're right. Oh, the Juki didn't seem loud. Thank you very much, Shelly and Pat. That's awesome to know. Yay. Good stuff there. That, Charlotte, that is precisely where I felt like I was really going to use this a lot, was cutting batting after I quilt, because I will quilt. I don't have a long arm, so I quilt things on my domestic. So once I've quilted it all together, trimming for getting the binding on, I really feel like this is really going to come in handy there. But when I got the slide blocks, and this will go, you know, right up to it, because it's got this little, I don't know if you can see it. Oh yeah, the little lip right here will go right onto, boom, right up to it, and I can just cut right through. I'm excited about being able to cut through layers of yardage. So this will be the next test. Yeah, I'll have to videotape that. Has emergency room written all over it. No, MJ. No, but I'll have to do a video when I do both. When I actually get a project ready for binding, of which I'm really bad. But then when I cut some yardage, I'll have to show it off, and how I've done it. Let's put it back in. I also like that you could get a nice little hard case for it. I'm a sucker for cases to put things away all neat and tidy. So if they if they advertise a case for a thing, I will get the case too. Because look at that, how cute! All nice and cute with this little carry handle. And it's like the, formed kind of plastic. So it's rugged. I like it. That is a fun little gadget to have. I'll show off the combo of the quilter slide lock, and then when I'm doing the batting. That'll be fun. Oh yeah, Melissa. Oh, Melissa was talking about that, but did not do it on camera, which was a lucky thing. It's one of Melissa. You have to tell me if I'm right. It's just one of those where you just sewing along, and it happened, and you have no idea how it happened. I feel like that's how it would happen for me. I would get distracted by something or something, someone come into the room or something, and then would end up having something like that happen to me that's never happened before, and I would never be able to explain how it happened in the first place. Yeah, Terry. So one of our my family pastimes, one of my favorite memories ever involving my dad is, we would be watching stupid stuff, generally like Godzilla movies or Kung Fu movies really late at night, and things would, like those infomercials would come up in the middle of the night, right? Like for dehydrators and electric walks and electric griddles and all this sort of stuff. And my dad would always get them. My dad was also a take the family on a free trip to things like timeshare stuff, and then never say yes to the timeshare, but get the free gift or whatever. So we'd have a free weekend with the whole fam bam, and then we would like go through. I'm the oldest of 3 daughters of the family, so I have two little sisters, and we would like rotate what the free gifts were of who would get what. I remember getting a necklace, and it was a diamond necklace. It was like a chip of a diamond, like like a flake of a diamond. But I thought I was rolling in the high life when it was my turn. I got that gift from one of those famous outings. So I get my love of all things gadgetry from my dad, and like all the Ronco stuff. And like I continue doing that. I'm just not allowed to watch like Home Shopping Channel or Network or whatever it's called or anything like that, because I will buy up all the things. Yes, the Ronco stuff. See, yeah. The Ronco stuff. Oh, such good memories. You were free motion quilting, got distracted, and boom. Yeah, man. Oh. And didn't you say like you like the needle broke? I saw the picture. The needle broke. Oh, it freaks me out thinking about it. Oh. Is it one of those things where it was painless at the moment as you're like looking at it, and then you realize that you've done it, and then it's just all pain? Yeah, we had literally anything and everything. If it was on a late night, like Saturday night, I think was when all the karate movies were on. Because Saturday morning was all the really great like the cartoons, and then Saturday night was the Godzilla movies and the karate movies, and that would be when gadgets would end up being shipped and delivered a couple of days later. So you'll refrain from the electric walk. That's great. I admire the restraint. do you have a bass-o-matic? A bass or a bass first? I hate that words are spelled the same and have two different things. So is it bass-o-matic or bass-o-matic? And no, I don't think I do. I had a slap chop though. Oh gosh. You still have the dehydrator. Oh my gosh, that is stellar. I love that. That's so exciting. Yeah, there were some really good deals. It was fun stuff. We made all kinds of stuff. We would make beef jerky. I remember shoot, we had that dehydrator for a long time, and I was 19, 20 and living with my fiance, and we did beef jerky, and we made like fruit leathers, like strawberry, fruit roll up things. We used the bejeebies out of that thing. It was fun. The pocket fisherman. Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, no, I'm okay with you not putting the picture up, Melissa. That's good. I'm good with just knowing what happened to that needle. It happened because of your finger. That's okay. Oh, oh, that's about it. Was an SN. Oh, now I'm gonna have to look up the SNL skit. I'm gonna have to look it up. I did manage quite a lot to sneak down to watch some Saturday Night Live skits, but certainly didn't get all of them. Yeah, you are not wrong, Linda. Oh, Pat, thank you. That means a lot. I do really enjoy talking to you guys. This is so much fun. And look, well, I did manage to save it, but and I did sew a seam. So, look at that. Progress. It's good stuff. Yeah, that we catch a shark. That's so true. Oh, I love Dan Aykroyd. Okay, I'll look it up because YouTube has all that stuff. I love that YouTube does that, and I love like the kind of the waves that SNL has gone through. Like they'll have really like this amazing cast, and then it'll kind of be like a lull where some of the cast members leave to go do movies and stuff, and then they'll get another really great cast. They'll put like have all like the right pieces together, and then those people will go and make big movies and leave and do other projects and stuff. And so it's just really neat how Saturday Night Live has managed to continue to stay relevant. Because okay, so all right, well, whatever, but talk about how old I am. So I was born in '74, and I think SNL started like right around that time. So to think that it's been around for 50 years is pretty impressive as far as shows go. Like things don't last that long, and it's still going, and it's still creating, movie stars and stuff, which is pretty neat. And stars that were on it are still viable stars now, like Dan Aykroyd, Steve Martin. He is in that TV show. Well, not a TV show, but it's like a cable TV show with Martin Short and Selena Gomez. So like they're all still like active today, which is so cool. Oh, Sally, I hope the yard work was fun. Yard work always seems like it would be fun because I like the end result. But having to be out in the hot really makes the love of yard work very hard for me to get into. All right. Well, it is 12:56, so we have 4 more minutes. So I want to thank everybody for coming and joining me and for chatting with me. It has been such a fun conversation. I'm really glad that I was able to show a couple of different ways, or show one way of fixing it, suggest a couple of different ways that you might be able to fix something that might have a boo boo in doing legit kits, because you know, yes, they are so good about sending out fabric and everything, but that could take time away from wanting to get the project done. So I hope that you have enjoyed helping me and walking through that part of the process with me. I've certainly enjoyed sharing that, and I'm glad it really worked out well. I'm excited to finish that up, and then so maybe next Sunday will not be a brunch. I'll come on for brunch just to say hi to everybody from 11 to 11:30. But next Sunday will be a legit kit block of the month. So that'll be from 1 to 3. But I'll definitely hop on at 11 to say hey to everybody. But then by the next week, I will be working on the B1 block of the mini rows on Sunday. So I hope you guys will come back and hang out for that. Definitely stop by next Sunday morning and say hi. If you're not able to be on from 1 to 3. And if you're not sewing the legit kits block of the month, that's no reason to not stop in. We still chitty chat, we still have a good time, even though we're working, specifically on that block. That's certainly not a reason to stay away if you've got time to come in and say hi. I will have my weekly podcast that I record on Wednesday nights and I put up on Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. So that'll be up this coming up week. Lots of stuff happening this weekend, so I'll be able to give details on all of those things, and anything else that I've worked on, things that I'm going to be working on in the coming week. I have not. Oh yeah, I'm glad you were out here too. I haven't done a room tour, Melissa, because this is the room. This is it. I have taken over one back wall of the living room, so there's really nothing to tour. All right. Well, again, thank you everybody, and pressing buttons on the machine. I will see you live next week, but on the podcast in the middle of the week. Be on the lookout too. I'll have my walkthrough of the quilter's slide locks going up. I'm going to do some editing tonight and have that up hopefully Monday morning. But if not, I have to do a voiceover. If not Monday morning, Tuesday morning, and then the podcast. And so then I'll see everybody on those. Thank you again. Have a fantastic rest of your Sunday. For those that are in the path of some storms, I hope that you are very safe and that everything just passes over. And I would really like nobody to be hurt over the storms tonight. So keep us up to date and let us know that you all are safe. And we will talk again soon. Thanks, everybody.